If there is one place that absolutely has to be on your bucket list, it needs to be Moraine Lake. So let's talk about how to get there. Hi, and welcome back to another video. My name is Caitlin and I have been living and working in the Canadian town of Banff and the Canadian Rockies for the last couple of years now. During this time, I've been making travel videos and sharing a lot of tips and tricks on how to get there with you. If you're in the midst of planning your trip to the Canadian Rockies, finalizing the last few details, or just wondering what all this hype about Moraine Lake is really about and if it's worth it, you're in the right place because Moraine Lake is my absolute favorite place in the whole world. Pictures of this lake were the reason that I moved from Australia over to the Canadian Rockies a couple years ago, and I am still so obsessed with it. I don't think I've ever seen something as beautiful and breathtaking and that I have just wanted to go back to time and time again. And I have, and I've experienced it, and today I want to share with you what you need to know about how to get there. There is a couple other videos up on my channel, but I'm making this update video specifically for you because things are consistently changing. There's new shuttle services that are available, and I want to talk to you about two of my absolute favorites today, why they're very different, why you should consider them, and what you kind of need to know about getting there. For a little bit of background, Moraine Lake is located in the town of Lake Louise, which is 40 minutes from Banff, and you can only access it by shuttle. Now, this wasn't always the case, but a couple of years ago, they decided that the amount of tourism that was heading to this area and the beautiful lake was not something that the roads and the parking lots were built to manage. Essentially, if you are visiting Moraine Lake though, you need to know you cannot drive your own vehicle there unless you have a blue accessibility permit, which means you need to drive your own vehicle in. If you don't have that, you have to get a shuttle, e-bike or walk, but I really wouldn't recommend walking. The road is super narrow, and e-biking is really stressful with all the buses as well. So really, I think shuttles are your best and least stressful option. So let's get into those. Now, if you've seen the other Moraine Lake videos on my channel, amazing. They're gonna be a great place to start. But this video is gonna be a little bit different because it is relevant, it is updated, and there are really new, exciting options that have popped up this summer, which are going to give you options to get to Moraine Lake from Lake Louise, Banff, and Canmore. Until this year, those last two were not possible on a shuttle service. So I'm going to talk to you about those because it's going to make traveling through the Canadian Rockies without a car so much easier. Alongside this new company that I want to discuss with you, there's one existing company that was started last year, which I do have some content up online about already, but I think they're another really great option, and these two are very different. So let's talk about them both and figure out which one is going to be the best to get you to Moraine Lake. Now, before I go into these two companies, if you prefer to read or if you just want a written summary to come back to later, I have a blog post outlining everything I'm going to talk about in this video for you guys, and it is such a great summary. It also has pictures of what you can kind of expect the lake to look like at each time of the year. I think it's a really handy resource. I'm going to put the link down in the description, and then I'll also put a link up at the top for you right now. Firstly, I want to introduce you to a brand new business, Via Moraine Lake. Until now, shuttles to Moraine Lake have only operated out of the town of Lake Louise, which has meant any visitors who have stayed in Banff or Canmore needed to drive themselves to the town of Lake Louise in order to catch that shuttle. Now, this is great for some, but it's super unhelpful for others who have decided to visit the Canadian Rockies without a car, don't want to do the long drive into Moraine Lake all by themselves, or would rather just enjoy the views and look out the window and not have to keep their eyes on the road. Additionally, congestion in the Lake Louise area is also growing, which is making accessing some of these shuttles a little bit harder. So this company have started as a way to be a solution to that problem and pick you up right in Canmore or Banff and take you all the way there. Not only do you get the incredible drive the whole way, but they take you directly to Moraine Lake or Lake Louise as well if you want to bundle that in, which is a great solution this year. Now, I think a lot of people make the assumption that all of these hotspots in the Canadian Rockies are located close together. And to some extent that's true, but this is a day trip that you're gonna want to allow a little bit more time for. To get from Canmore into Moraine Lake, it can take up to 2 hours. So you want to kind of enjoy that experience, I would assume. So going with this company is a great option. As of right now, the 2024 summer season, this company is the only one that is offering a shuttle service from Canmore and Banff straight into Moraine Lake. They are your only direct option there, and I think that is something you should absolutely make the most of. There is 5 5 incredible pickup options in Canmore, 1 really central pickup option in Banff, and all of these are designed to get you out of these towns and into Moraine Lake as quick as possible. As you probably know by now, visiting Moraine Lake at sunrise is my absolute favorite way to do it. If you've ever looked up Moraine Lake online or seen pictures of it with that beautiful glow across the mountains behind the blue water, that happens at sunrise, and I think it is the most magical time of the day. In my ideal world, I would be there for sunrise, see that, and then wait until the sun rises, hits the beautiful blue water, and then go canoeing or kayaking for the day. Whatever you choose to do. Canoe rentals are available on the lakeshore, but that would be my perfect day there. One great thing is that they have multiple departure and return times, so you can book whatever return time you want for the day. They have those guaranteed sunrise shuttles, and they have combination packages. Now, you can still drive your own vehicle to Lake Louise if you want to see that beautiful lake as well. They're both located kind of close to each other, which is great to bundle in one day, but the parking at Lake Louise is incredibly busy. It gets so congested and it costs so much money. It is just a flat fee to go and park there regardless of whether you're there for an hour or the whole day. And it is so expensive in my opinion. So I feel like you're better off saving that money, putting it towards a shuttle and making sure you can get there hassle-free. So combining those 2 shuttles is a great option. Alternatively, visiting for sunrise is one of the best things you'll ever do. Keep in mind weather in the Canadian Rockies changes so quickly. So I would recommend if you're on a trip and you don't have time to play around with, just go and try. The first time I ever went to Moraine Lake, it was early in September. We woke up really early for sunrise and then we were sitting on the rock pile and it was like raining, it was snowing, it was the most horrible weather. We thought we would have absolutely no sunrise. We literally went back to our car because this is when you could still drive to Moraine Lake, and sat there for like half an hour just warming up, decided to go back out, and the whole thing cleared up and we had one of the most beautiful mornings at Moraine Lake that I will never ever forget. So that is my one little tip in this video. That is a personal story, but just go and try. You don't have anything to lose. Moraine Lake is pretty beautiful regardless of the weather, so give it a go. Finally, if you book with this company too, as well as those flexible return times, they also have a 48-hour change policy. If you want to change dates because of the weather or something happens, you can do so free of charge, provided it's 48 hours in advance, and they do have availability on that new date, which is really great. There's a link for this down in the description below if you want to check it out and go with them this summer. This is a great option for our Banff and Canmore pickups. Let's get into another option if you want to go from Lake Louise. The second company that I want to share with you is the Moraine Lake Bus Company. There's another video directly dedicated to them up on my channel showcasing my experience with them, but they are another great option if you're coming to the Canadian Rockies and want to get to Moraine Lake. Now, both of these companies have great shuttles, sunrise options, and Lake Louise bundles if you want to go to Moraine Lake and Lake Louise, but they pick up from very different locations. So let me go into that a little bit more. If you are staying in the town of Lake Louise, or you have a car to get yourself to Lake Louise, this is another great option for you. The Moraine Lake Bus Company shuttles depart from the Lake Louise Summer Gondola and Ski Resort, which has a huge parking lot. Many shuttle companies operate out of this area, so you can go park your vehicle and then shuttle into Moraine Lake and Lake Louise if you choose. This company is owned by another really lovely couple in the area. They're in their 2nd year of operation and they're doing a great job. One of my favorite things about them, and the best thing that I think they offer, is their really early sunrise shuttles. I think they call it an alpine start, and it's basically a really early sunrise so you can get to Moraine Lake and do a sunrise hike, or have time to get on top of a mountain, or do that bucket list hike that you had on your list. And I think that's the best. Tower of Babel is one of my absolute favorite sunrise hikes in the Moraine Lake area, and I did it back when you could still drive yourself there, but by now you would need that really early shuttle to get you there on time so you can climb that mountain and then watch sunrise. One thing that's also worth really noting is it could be worth bundling your experience. While you can still park your own vehicle at Lake Louise itself, the parking lot fills up so early, and the cost to park there is quite ridiculously high. I would recommend just bundling your shuttle, and then that way you can make sure you get to both of these iconic, beautiful, beautiful lakes. The Moraine Lake Bus Co have really, really great options for this, so definitely check them out. And as I mentioned, if you want to see what that experience is like visiting Moraine Lake with them, please feel free to go visit that video. I'm going to link it up the top and down in the description for you as well, but they are another great option if you want to depart out of Lake Louise this summer. So in summary, both Via Moraine Lake and Moraine Lake Bus Company are great options, and what is going to determine which one you go with is going to be your pickup location. If you're going from Banff or Canmore, you want to go with Via Moraine Lake, and if you are in Lake Louise or you have a car to get there, Moraine Lake Bus Company is a great option as well. Regardless of which company you choose, both will ensure you make it to Moraine Lake and tick this iconic, beautiful spot off your bucket list this summer. There are so many shuttle companies out there now, and it gets really confusing. But with these two, you have every option that you need to get there in a way that's going to be easy to book, simple to get there, and have flexible return options for you. Before we wrap up, don't forget to check out that blog post. It is my complete guide to Moraine Lake. Again, I'll link it down in the description, but it's a super handy resource that wraps up everything I've discussed in this video and a lot more handy hints on what it's like, how to get there, directions, everything you kind of need to know, as well as booking links to these companies if you choose to go with them. If you have any questions about visiting Moraine Lake this summer or what it's like to go with either one of these companies, please don't hesitate to reach out. Comment below. I will be more than happy to respond to you as quickly as possible. And then don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me keep bringing you this content, but I will see you again soon. Have an amazing trip. Bye.